everyone, Maya here from MaiStoryBook, and welcome back to the last day of our Book a Day series. I have had so much fun reading aloud with you all week long and going on so many reading adventures. I can't believe it's already Friday today. But no worries, because new reading adventures will always be coming up, my friends, so keep an eye out. Well, today's featured storybook is a story that goes really well with Earth Day. Remember, Earth Day is in April, and we are in the new month of April. Earth Day, remember, is a day to really think about our planet and be grateful for it and think about how we can help take care of it and appreciate it and show it that we care about making sure our Earth stays healthy, green, and clean. Well, today's interactive read aloud is actually inspired by a real girl, and her name is Greta Thunberg, and she's an actual girl who is really passionate about taking care of the earth. So passionate means that she does whatever she can and she talks to everyone she can to encourage people to care about what happens to our planet. Right now, friends, there's a lot of people out there who cut down a lot of trees or they pollute the air with dirty chemicals that hurt our earth. Greta Thunberg realized this, and she decided to go out and talk about it to let people know what was happening and how we needed to change some of the ways we were living and making things so that we could help our earth stay healthy. You might have heard of her before. If not, you can also go on YouTube and learn more about her. She gives a speech where she talks about why it's so important to help take care of the earth and all of the things that we've been doing that haven't been so helpful and what we could maybe do instead. Well, today's story, again, is inspired by her. So the character's name is going to be Greta. It's not a true story, though. So this story didn't actually happen, but it's inspired by what Greta Thunberg, the real person, did. My friends, what are some ideas you have about how we can take care of the earth? Those are great ideas, and I encourage you, friends, to use your voice to go out and share those ideas with others. Something Greta did was she used her voice and she told people to let them know what was going on. And the more people who know, the more people who can do something about it, right? So name at least one person you're going to go tell about your ideas of how to keep the earth healthy. Great. And if they told another person and they told another person, your ideas would be spread all over the world. And you'd be helping the earth a lot. So in our studio background, you'll see a beautiful new plant. This one is like a little mini bamboo. And I have this back here because our book is also about how do you protect the forests and nature from people who maybe want to cut them down. And on the back, you'll also see some signs. One tool that people use to share how they're feeling and let people know is that they write signs and they hold them up and they march around with them, sometimes called a protest, to let people see and hear what they want done and what change they want. So I made some signs that says, "We need change," with a picture of the earth, "Save our forests," and "We love our plants and nature." Okay, my friends, if you want to pause the video right now and make your own little sign about ways to help the earth, you can go ahead and do that, and then that way you can use it while we read along, because there'll be a page where friends are going to hold up their signs and you can hold up your sign too. So if you want to do that, go ahead and pause. All right, well, I think we're ready to start our story. Are you? Let's get started then. So the title of today's interactive read aloud is Greta and the Giants, inspired by Greta Thunberg's stand to save the world. So again, this book was inspired by her and what she did to help save Earth. And it's written by Zoe Tucker and illustrated by Zoe Persico. So that's interesting, my friends. The author and the illustrator had the same first name. They're both Zoes. Now remember, again, since there's two different names, that means that this Zoe Tucker wrote all the words and this Zoe Persico drew all of the pictures we're about to see. And there are some beautiful pictures that are going to help us appreciate how beautiful Earth is too. All right, and what do you see on this cover, my friends? Yeah, so I see this girl here, and this must be Greta, the girl. And I see some other children in the back, some animals, and they're holding signs too. Do you know what their signs say? Hers says, "Strike for climate change." So strike is when you stop doing something until someone does what you want them to do. And usually you're striking because someone is being unfair to you. So you're going to stop until they make it fair again. And over here, this one says listen. So listen to what we're saying. And looking at their faces, my friends, or at least this one, how do they feel? Kind of worried, right? Like, I know the title says giants, and do you see some giants in this cover? I see some two big shadows back here. So are those friendly giants? I don't think so, right? The dark colors and shadowy way they're illustrated makes me think that they are not so friendly. And I'm thinking that maybe they're the ones who are hurting the forest. All right, what do you think Greta and her friends are going to be able to save the forest? I hope so. Let's see what happens. So here's our title page as the title of our book, Greta and the Giants, and our author and illustrator. And here I see Greta, and she is holding a new sign right here that says stop. And how is she feeling here, my friends? How would you describe her? I would use the word determined, right? Her hands, if you see, are kind of clenched in a fist, kind of like I am ready to do this and I'm ready to go fight and save the forest. Ooh, what a beautiful illustration, my friends. What is the setting of this story? Where does this story take place? In the woods or forest, right? There's lots of forest animals. There was once a girl who lived at the heart of a beautiful forest. Her name was Greta. And Greta has lots of friends in this forest. Who are some of her friends? Yeah, all the animals, bears, deers. What's this? A fox, squirrels. And they look really happy in their forest, Very peaceful. One morning, though, things weren't quite as they should be. Greta stepped out into her yard, and there, huddled so all crowded together in the shadows of the trees, were all of the animals of the forest. So here she is, and something doesn't seem right. And again, the picture, the way they're all crouched in the shadows, makes me think it's not a good thing that they're huddled and talking about, right? A soft, silvery brown wolf stepped forward, with his tail low to the ground. Please help us, he whispered. The forest is broken and we don't know where to go. The giants are ruining our home. Oh no, my friends, the forest is broken and there are giants ruining their home. What do you think those giants are doing to the forest that's ruining it? Maybe cutting down the trees? Because maybe that's how the forest would be broken. All the trees are broken. So asking Greta for help. Oh my goodness, my friends. Do you see those giants? So giants mean really tall, huge, big people, right? Bigger than normal. And if I look at this picture, these giants are even bigger than the trees, right? Giant means so tall. The giants had always been there for as long as Greta could remember, but now they were worse than ever. They were huge, lumbering oafs, so they were big, clumsy, lumbering around, stepping on things, and they were always busy. I wonder what they were busy doing. And if I look over here, it kind of gives me a clue. What were they doing, my friends, that made them so busy? Yeah, cutting down some trees. Looks like they're building, and what is this? A city? Remember we've talked about cities, those tall buildings? They chopped down trees to build homes. They then chopped down more trees and built bigger homes. And then the houses grew into towns, and the towns grew into cities. And they built factories and shops and cars and planes. They worked all day and all night until eventually, ... Remember when you have those ... they're called ellipses. And that means it's going to continue on the next page, but pause, my friends. It seems like every time they need to build something, they have to chop down the trees to help them build. They need some wood, right? So they're building themselves some new homes, but what does that do to the forest animals and where they live? It takes away their home too, And it seems like they already had homes, but then they wanted bigger homes. Do they need bigger homes? Maybe not, as long as everyone fits. And then they built all these extra things. So many things. And I'm noticing that, does there look like there's a lot of forest in this city? Kind Kind of reminds me of Florette, right? In the city, there is no nature, so animals can't live in the city. There was hardly any forest left, just like in Florette, huh? But the greedy giants had forgotten how wonderful the forest was. They didn't see all the little birds and bugs and butterflies and bears that trembled in the shadows, that were scared in the shadows. And no one told them to stop because everyone was scared of them. So it seems like the giants used to live in the forest and they loved it, right? But then they built all of these things. And my friends, do you think they'd leave the city a lot to go into the forest? No, they probably stay in the city. And now they forgot about all the animals who are so scared. What are they going to do? How are the animals going to get their home back? I don't know, my friends. I feel sad for the animals and worried for them. So they had all forgotten everyone except Greta. Will you help us? Asked the wolf. Greta looked around her. The animals looked tired and sad. She had to help them, but how? How can she help them save their forest? She's just one little girl. What do you think, my friends? Those are some good ideas. Well, here she is. She's reading, doing some research. If you ever have a problem, my friend, reading about other ideas can be very helpful. Books are so helpful. Then Greta had an idea. And what does she have here? A sign, and her sign says, stop. The next morning, Greta went to the middle of the forest and waited for the giants to come. She stood alone holding a big sign. The sign said, stop. And she waited, ... and waited, ... So it's going to continue on the next page. But let's see, there's just one little girl holding this sign against all those huge giants. My friends, do you think she's going to be able to stop them all by herself like this? Why do you think that? Well, let's see. Well, on the first day, the giants didn't even see her, and they lumbered on by. They just walked right on by, because look how big they are. And on the second and third day, too, they just walked right by. She's so small all by herself. But on the fourth day, something strange happened. What happened here, my friends? What's different? There's another person, right? Hey, there's another boy holding another sign, and his sign says, listen. So hers says, stop. His says, listen. So now there's two friends. Wonder if the giants are going to notice two people. What do you think? Well, I kind of hope so. A little boy who had been watching Greta made a sign and came and sat down next to her. He didn't say much, but Greta knew he felt like she did. So he's not talking much, but she knows that they probably feel the same way. And how do they feel, my friends? What does she mean that he felt like she did? How does he feel? Maybe that they both care about the forest and the animals and want to stop the giants? And then all of a sudden, my friends, now what's happening? There's a whole bunch of people and friends who feel the same way, and it looks like they all brought signs of their own. So maybe the giants didn't notice one person, and maybe they didn't notice two, because two's still small, but now there's like a whole crowd of them. Do you think the giants will notice now that there's so many people? Let's see. Soon more people and animals saw what they were doing and joined in too. My friends, would you join in also? What would your sign say? Ooh, that's a good one. So I see a whole bunch of friends, and let's read some of their signs. Save our forest. Help. Even the animals are helping, because it's their home, right? Our home is on fire. Maybe they're burning down some of the trees. Remember, they also have to cut down trees and get rid of trees to make space for the city, not just to use the wood to build. We love our forest. Oh, kind of like my sign back there. Action now. Stop again. Oh my gosh, so many friends who feel the same way that saving the earth and forest is important. Well, here they go. Before long, a huge crowd, a whole bunch of people, filled the forest, stretching out to the city and the roads beyond. That's so many people. They stood together and they waited. And I see over here, here's the giants and the cities, and they're like, huh? Look at their faces. How do they feel when they see all those people? Kind of curious, like, what's going on? The crowd was so huge. I see the giant feet here, my friends, and wait, does it look like they're lumbering by, just walking on by? Looks like they're standing still, like they stopped. So the crowd was so huge that the giants were stopped in their tracks. And here is a speech bubble, so this means Greta's going to say something. Please stop, Greta cried. Your greedy behavior is spoiling our home. So my friends, do you know what greedy means? Yeah, greedy means that you take and you take and you take more than you need. So they're ruining their home. You've broken the trees and trampled the flowers. You've crushed the flowers. And now the bees and birds have flown away. And my friends, do you know why birds and bees are so important to plants? Yeah, they help them grow. They pollinate. They spread the pollen so new plants can grow. They aren't there. The forest can't grow. And the animals are homeless in our forest. It's dying. After Greta had spoken, everything was silent. My friends, what do you think the giants think about what she said? Yeah, I wonder, are they gonna listen to her and agree? But then, everyone in the crowd began to shout. So now they're all going to say what they think. The smoke from your fires is choking the air. So the smoke, remember, makes the air polluted. It makes the air dirty and hard to breathe. And please stop cutting down the trees, says the bear. You can help plant some new ones, suggests the birds. So that's an idea. So this bird is giving them an idea of how they can help fix it and make it better. She's saying they can plant new trees. My friends, do you have an idea of what the giants could do to help fix the problem? Those are some excellent ideas. Well, let's see what they do. Oh, well, this animal has another suggestion too. And mend my home and fix my home. So maybe they can go and help fix some of the animal homes. And so everyone says, we need to take care of our forest and live together. Will you please try? They all asked. And my friends, how are these giants feeling right now? They look kind of sad, right? Almost like worried. The giants shuffled. They kind of moved their feet around a little bit and fidgeted and stomped their feet on the ground. So if you're kind of fidgeting, you're moving around and look at their faces, what are they thinking? They were embarrassed and a little bit sad. You see, the giants were so busy building, they didn't see what they were doing to the forest or the animals who lived there. Oh, my friends, so were they hurting the forest and the animals on purpose? No, not on purpose. What was going on instead? They were just so busy building everything, they didn't even think about it. And you know, the thing is, my friends, it is important to build things. We do need to build new homes for new people, and we do need to build buildings for people to work in and do stuff in, but we also have to remember to not do more than we need. And if we hurt part of the forest, we have to make sure that everyone there is still okay and see what we can do to help fix any problems we caused. The giants felt terrible. We're sorry, they said, and they promised to try harder. So did Greta's plan work? To stand up to the giants and use her voice to share what she felt was right? Seems like it did. Well, so from that day on, the greedy giants weren't so greedy. They slowed down and learned to sit quietly. So they don't have to be busy building and working and doing all these things all day. They can just take some time to sit. They stopped working all the time and instead took up new hobbies, so found some things to do for fun with each other. What are they doing here? Knitting, my friends. Have you ever knitted or sewed or made anything, made types of clothes before? It's a kind of fun hobby. And what are some other things that they're doing instead of working and building all day? Yeah. They stopped chopping down trees and learned all about gardening and living in the forest. Gardening, my friends, kind of like Florette again, and how Afia lived in the nature too in our earlier read aloud yesterday. My friends, do you have a garden? Are there things you can eat in your garden, or have you ever grown anything you can eat? Yeah. And they cooked, repaired, tidied, and shared, and before long, and before long, what do you think? Sounds like it's going to be a good thing that happened after they did all this, huh? So they're going to cook more and they're going to clean up. My friends, do you like to cook? What are some things you cook? Ooh. Well, before long. And what do you notice here, my friends? What happened after they changed the way they lived? So they're not so focused on building and working anymore. Now what happened? How is life? Yes, right? The forest became more beautiful than they could have ever imagined. And what do you notice is going on in this picture? This picture makes me so happy, friends, and it's so beautiful because look, they're all living together in the forest though, right? I still see the city, so the city's still here in the background, but what do you notice about the buildings? They have some plants growing on them now, so more in nature. And it looks like the giants learned to live in nature. They're learning to take care of the environment, and they're sharing what they're doing with others. They're all living together, and the animals are living there too. This shows me, friends, that it's possible for us to live happily with nature and with animals so that everyone is happy and taken care of. The end. And in the back of this book, my friends, it tells us a little bit more about Greta Thunberg and what she did and some of the important reasons why we need to help the earth. So if you want to add this book to your own home library and shelves, then you will be able to read a little bit more about that, or you can also always go online and learn more about Greta Thunberg or what you can do to help save our forests. So that was the end of this story, my friends, and what was your favorite part? Yeah, huh? My favorite part, of course, was the end, that beautiful picture of everyone living together. But I also really liked how in the middle of the book, everyone came together to help stop the giant. So it wasn't just Greta. She started it, though. It always takes one person to be brave and stand up and start the movement. Because when people see one person, it gives them the bravery to also join them. So I also liked how everyone came together and they held up their signs and they used their voices to say what they believed was right and what they believed needed to change. And my friends, this book can kind of connect to what's going on today. And I know that today that people are really busy and sometimes we forget about our forests and our animals and how we need to take care of the earth because earth can't take care of itself all the time, right? My friends, how often do you go outside and walk around and appreciate nature and look at the trees or the skies? Well, that's great if you do a lot. But if not, my friends, I encourage you to go spend some time outside and really appreciate just all the plants and life around you and what's there just naturally on Earth. And my friends, if you notice some places though where it looks like the Earth isn't being taken care of, what is something you could do? You could use your voice and say something. Either you can go and help out and figure out how can I fix this problem and take care of this spot of earth, or have others come and help you and figure out what ideas can you have to help keep the earth healthy. My friends, do you have any other ideas of how you could help take care of earth? There are so many ideas. And again, what's important is that you share those ideas too. Encourage people to go out and do those things with you. Because the more people who help take care of the earth, the better our earth and more healthy and happier it will be. All right, my friends, well, I hope this book encourages you to use your voice to help create change. If you see something that's wrong or unfair, use your voice to help change it. That is what is important. Give me a thumbs up if you think the next time you see something wrong or unfair, you will use your voice and help make it right. I hope so. You can also make a little sign. And if you do make a sign, my friends, I'd love to see your signs, so please do share them with me. You can find me on Instagram at MaiStoryBook Library, on Facebook, on the blog. You can email me. All those links can be found below as always. And please be sure, of course, to subscribe to my storybook. That way you know when all of our new reading adventures come out and you can stay up to date with all of our read-alouds that we do together. Alright, so this brings us to the end of our Book a Day series for this week. I hope you enjoyed this selection of Earth Day, poetry, Easter-themed reads. I'm looking forward to doing another Book a Day series soon and for posting some new videos maybe once a week as well. And as always, friends, remember that there are crafts coming for these read-alouds. I will be sure to be putting them out, so please keep updated on my social media and I will let you know when new crafts are released to go along with our books. Okay, my friends, well, it is time to say goodbye, so as always, please stay safe and healthy. I hope you are enjoying some time with family and friends and getting lots of reading in, and until next time, happy reading!